All right, so back on North Star, this is going to be part 9. So picking up where we left off last, we are getting ready to put some things back into the cabinet. But one thing that we want to go ahead and take care of now, this is this panel that goes down the cabinet, and I'm wanting to change out the power cord that is here. Let's see if I can pull this out and show you. The original one, it just has, you know, the neutral and the hot. There's no ground on it, and it's tied into the whole harness here with this, you know, cloth string, which I really don't want to screw up that string. So what I'm going to do though is I'm wanting to replace this original cord with a grounded cord. And what I typically do is I'll just pick up you know, a pretty decent extension cord. This one's nice and long, 15 feet long, and it's 16 gauge wire, so you know, it's definitely up to the task. And what I'll do is just cut off this end of it, strip it back, and wire it in place of this. And instead of screwing up the wax string, we will basically leave a section of the original cable just in place. We'll not mess with that. But I'll basically cut this off here, and I'll cut it off where it comes into it. And we'll basically run a new cable along here, mount it to the board, and just tie it in place to where this original cable was. So you've got, you know, your hot and your neutral that are tied in here to this fuse, and then to the this input of the transformer. And then we'll take the ground, and we'll just use this metal lug over here as a point to tie the ground to. And that's where we'll take the ground braid that we created in the last episode to join into that, which will ground all the metal parts around the framework of the cabinet. So here we go, let's get rolling. All right, so we got the new power cord wired in here. Everything's good. It's now time to move back over to the cabinet, and let's go put pieces and parts back in place. And when it's time, we're going to take this panel and throw it back in. Here we go. right, everything's back together, and it's kind of the moment of truth. Well, kind of, sort of. All right, so here's what's happened. Everything's back together. You know, all the parts, everything's all plugged in back together. And first thing happened is I take the ground, sorry, not the ground, but the power cord, and plug it in. And as soon as I did, I saw a tiny little spark here in the end. And I was like, that can't be good. Came over here and took a look. The main fuse was blown. It would blow it just immediately as I would plug the power in. That's not with, you know, the game actually coming on or anything. So pretty good sign that there was a short associated with that ground. And in fact, what I did next is I took the ground wire and disconnected it from where I had it, you know, tied into all this groundwork that did the game, and put a new fuse in, and hey, it didn't blow the fuse. Didn't do anything there, you know, right at first. But I knew that there was something related to this ground that I added, or at least I thought. Okay, now that it was related to it. So got hunting things down. Actually, and then I took out this connector here, this Jones plug, which ties the coin door into everything else. And the reason why that was important is this fuse that would blow the wire. This is right where the hot comes in. And right out of that, this white with a green and black stripe wire, it goes all the way up here, and it goes right into this connector, and it comes right up into this door. This is a slam tilt switch. So when you slam that opens the switch, and you know, it shuts the game off. And basically, if I disconnected this connector here, it wasn't blowing the fuse there with the ground strap. So hey, I'm thinking there must have been something in this door. Well, actually digging in a little deeper, I've already fixed it now, but this is actually something that was already here. I never noticed and never actually had anything to do with during all the work that I was doing. But the fact that we added in this ground strap created a path for shorting it. So these switches, these are for, you know, whenever you have a coin come in, it closes that little switch, right? Well, notice that there's this little, they call it fish paper. It's an insulator that goes between this actual metal clip and the top little leaf. Well, what had happened was, I'm not going to pull it out totally, but this leaf, well, I'll go ahead and do it and I'll fix it. It was sitting up on top like that, which caused this metal piece, which is, you know, tied to ground, was touching this leaf right here, and it was on both of them. Both of these switches, which aren't even used for this game because it's, you know, it's free play. We're not putting coins in. That was causing the short. So that was one problem that we've solved. So now we're on to the next one. So next we're going to actually try starting the game. So I fixed that fish paper back on that switch. So that's down insulating things. And so I will plug the switch, or plug the power back in. Great, we're not, you know, no fuses are blown. Now here's the next thing. So I come over here and I press the start button. Nothing's happening. All right, well, I've noticed if I hold the start button down and give the scoring motor a turn, it wakes up. And it actually resets the scoring reels. They were already at 0, so you didn't really hear it do much. But notice that the scoring motor just keeps running and running and running. So the next thing that I am thinking about is, okay, what causes that motor to run? And so I have to kind of dig into the schematic, of which, by the way, I am just still learning how to really interpret and read things quickly on it, and I've got a long way to go. But I've got to figure out what's driving that motor constantly. A minute ago, I tried looking at the start relay, and just on a first assessment, it seemed like everything was fine with that. But looking at the schematic again, there was something about the reset relay. And just taking a quick glance here, let's see if I can pull this off the stand while this is, let's see if we can just kill the power so we don't have all the sound coming through. Plus take the voltage out while I stick my hand down in here. So this next relay right down here DB, which is the reset relay. You can actually see where it says there. I got looking down here to the side. I don't know, but I suspect that maybe these switches are kind of boogered up. Maybe in the process of having this panel in and out, something got bumped. This game was not having that problem when I started tearing things apart. So that just looks kind of peculiar. So that's the next thing I'm going to dig into. All right, so I've got this other relay bank. I think this is called the 11 relay bank. The other one's called the 10 because this one's got 11, that one's 10. So looking at this relay, immediately I can tell I was right in that those switches are definitely screwed up. I have not fixed them yet, so I don't know if that is the ultimate cause of what's going on with the whole start, but I have a good feeling it is. But look at this. So I don't know what happened, what caused it, but normally, and this is tilted up just so, you know, it gives you good access to service things. Of course, I've had to pull the playfield back out to get to this. But this is in its, I guess, up position or whatever. And then whenever the coil energizes and it pulls it down, then all of the switches should basically change state. They either go from open to close or close to open. Well, focusing right up here at the top, I don't know if you can see this or not, but as this thing moves, what's up with these? These things are somehow got bent. They should be underneath the yellow arm, both of these. And the end of this should be riding on that little white post. See, kind of like this bottom switch down here, how that's riding? It should be a real similar arrangement. And somehow or another, these got bent. I want to suspect that maybe a cable, one of the Jones plugs, when we were pulling the playfield out, maybe that snagged it and I didn't realize it and it bent it up. But we're going to get that straightened back out, get it put in position, and see what happens. All right, now that we got the reset relay, hopefully the contact's fixed, let's give it a shot now. Let's hit the start button and see what happens. Hey, that's a good sign. The scoring motor stopped after doing its reset cycle. Didn't really have to reset much. Hear a buzz, but that's usually normal for like a whole relay. But let's try putting the playfield down and let's see what happens. Actually, I hear the buzz coming off of you. It's for the, wait for me to actually drop the ball. I think I had a couple. Okay. So let's see what else working. If there's any switch issues, that's working. Folks, I think it's working. I gotta say I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna keep going over it a little bit more, and we'll tune in next time to see what else I find. Otherwise, we're going to be moving on to fixing the wires that I keep talking about and dreading to fix down in that panel. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.